Adanma was once the pride of her husband, Chike. Their love was the envy of the village until the day her womb betrayed time itself. What began as joy turned to horror when her pregnancy stretched not for months but for years. 7 long years she carried a swollen belly, watching friends give birth and grow old while her child refused to come. At first, the villagers pitied her, then they mocked her. Maybe she swallowed a stone, they laughed. Maybe she carried a curse. Even Chike, once loving, grew cold. His eyes avoided her. His voice turned harsh. When the village elders whispered that she had offended the gods, Chike's shame boiled over. He sent her away, but she refused to leave. "This is my home," Adanma said quietly, sweeping the compound each morning with trembling hands. When Chike married a younger woman, who gave him a son in less than a year. As Adanma stood at the edge of the crowd, trying to share in their joy, but when she stepped forward, Chike blocked her path as Adanma stretched her hand to greet the baby. Chike squeezed his face like as if Adanma was a witch. Then he shouted, "Don't you dare touch my baby. Do you want to padlock his destiny?" The crowd erupted in cruel laughter and clapped their hands. That night, Adanma felt like the ground should divide in two and swallow her. The embarrassment was too much. When she went home, she cried like never before. Her tears fell on her swollen belly, just like the baby in her womb watched how she was embarrassed earlier. Before dawn, the sky turned strange. The air thick with lightning. Alone in her hut, Adanma fell into labor. She screamed in pain. By the time the villagers came running, they found her cradling a newborn child, a boy with the wrinkled face of a 90-year-old man. The people gasped. His eyes glowed with ancient knowing. His tiny mouth curved into a weary smile. "A spirit child," they whispered in terror. Chike cursed and called him an abomination. But Adanma drew her baby close. "He is my son," she said, "and his name shall be Obinna, my father's heart, banished at last." Adanma took her child and fled to a distant village. There, she built a hut at the edge of the forest and lived quietly. But shame followed her like a shadow. She hid the child from the world. She was afraid of their stares. Yet the more she kept him hidden, the older and weaker the baby became. One day, she ran out of water and she was forced to go to the river. She carried him on her back. The people at the stream mocked her mercilessly. "See her carrying her grandfather." One said, "Maybe her child is an ancestor." Another muttered, "The shame won't let her fill her pot before disappearing." Surprisingly, when she returned home, she noticed her child's wrinkles had softened. His eyes looked brighter. To confirm her suspicion, she took him to the marketplace the next day, and the people mocked again. When she arrived home, she quickly brought out her baby from her back. Alas, his skin glowed fresher than before. That night, she realized the very mockery that was meant to break her son was somehow giving him strength. As years rolled by, Obinna's brilliance began to unfold. He spoke with the wisdom of the elders. He solved riddles that silenced scholars and understood things beyond his age. When he started school, his teachers were baffled. Within a single term, the headmaster moved him from primary 1 to primary 6. At 7, he passed his common entrance exams. At 9, he finished junior secondary. At 10, he completed his SSCE. The villagers could not understand it. Some whispered he was blessed. Others swore he was bewitched. But Adanma only smiled, knowing what the world once called a curse had become a gift. At 18, Obinna graduated from university with honors. By 30, he had built one of the most powerful companies in the world. His name, Obinna Adanma, was spoken with awe across continents. Reporters called him the boy genius, the miracle mind, the man who grew younger. For indeed, as his fame grew, his body reversed the years. He looked younger with every birthday. His face smoother, his eyes brighter, his laughter ageless. Meanwhile, far away in the village, Chike's second wife had left him. Their 5 children had moved to the city and forgotten him. Age bent his back, pain stiffened his bones, and loneliness became his only companion. One quiet evening, as he lay coughing in his dark hut, a black cat stopped at his compound. From it stepped a woman, wrapped in a simple wrapper, Adanma, and beside her, a handsome young man who looked barely 20, but whose eyes carried eternity. "Who are you?" Chike whispered, his voice trembling. Obinna knelt beside him. "I am your son," he said softly, "the one you cast away." Tears filled the old man's eyes. "After all I did to you, after all the shame I gave your mother." Adanma's voice was gentle. "We did not come for revenge. We came because mercy outlives cruelty." That night, Obinna cared for his father. He fed him, washed him, and held his frail hands until the dawn. As the first light of morning touched the sky, Chike looked into his son's youthful face and whispered, "You look younger than the day you were born." Obinna smiled. "Perhaps love turns back time," he said. When Chike took his last breath, there was peace on his face for the first time in years. From that day, no one in the land called Obinna cursed again. They called him the timeless man, the child who carried the wisdom of ages, the man whose youth defied years, and the son who proved that forgiveness can outlive shame. And wherever his story is told, the wind still seems to whisper Adanma's name, a mother's love that birthed both a miracle and a legend. Who's to be blamed here? Please put your thoughts down in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks so much as you do so. See you in my next one. Bye.